Welcome to Lotus Talks. Today we are very delighted to have Professor Kiran Prasad amongst us. Professor Kiran Prasad is the head of the Department of Communication and Journalism at Sri Padmavati Mahila University, Tirupati, Andhra Pradesh. You have been working as a resource person worldwide for many years for training programs in women's studies, development studies, and human studies. So, what do you think? What is the role of women in ancient India, from ancient India, or to be very particular during the ancient period, as spiritual leaders or opinion leaders, as teachers?
Okay. Uh, Ancient India did not discriminate women in any field, and they had complete enjoyment of the rights, which have unfortunately been taken away slowly over a period of time, particularly during our colonization as well as in post-independent India, and women have not been able to recover from the loss of their rights and status over a period of time. And today we see a situation wherein they have almost imbibed patriarchal values to such an extent that they are unable to recognize the harm that is being caused not only to them but to larger society.
Can you cite some examples where social injustice has been done to women while with an excuse with this religious scriptures?
The scriptures have never discriminated against women, but after a period of time, you find that the Manusmriti is being quoted as the most important text, and it is from the misinterpretation of the Manusmriti that the fall in the status of women begins, and consequently over a period of over 50 years, I think you see that slowly even women have started to believe that maybe there are some laws against them or some prescriptions against them in participating in community rituals or rites. But I think a small fraction of society is recognizing that such barriers do not exist and they are coming out of these kind of prescriptions. But I think it will take a lot of time for women to strengthen their position once again towards equality, because women themselves are unable to recognize that their rights are important.
Yeah.
Such is
They
the
have to
fall.
identify their rights.
Yes. So, as long as they think that Manusmriti is the base of all their rights, they're not going to progress. They have to go further down into history, and I think women do not have the luxury of going into higher education or higher thinking because they are overburdened in this country with multiple tasks.
What are the other challenges that today's women are facing?
The patriarchal structures have broken down the solidarities among women, and there was a time when women could seek advice from female teachers. They were more comfortable, they could be guided by women. But today, you find the situation is such that women are more and more isolated, that they have started depending on their immediate family, which is again governed by patriarchal structures. I think that women have to break that barrier in their mind that they cannot build solidarities among themselves. And one of my objectives in life as part of education is to build the solidarity among young girls as well as women to help each other. That is the first step wherein they can find their solution.
Apart from all these challenges, what are the strong factors responsible for women empowerment?
Education is the most important plank or the foundation on which human rights are built. So, if women are empowered to go into higher education, I do not mean primary education, or I say higher education because it opens up the mind to higher realms. So, higher education is an important step in women's independence, and with higher education comes the opportunity to go forward economically. And once a woman is on a sound economic footing, she can lend a helping hand to the coming young generation, girls who might have not stepped into the career field as yet.
Today, in government policies also, we are finding that we are recommending the folk media or the indigenous media
Yes.
mediums as strong sources of communication.
Yes.
So while we are discussing in every means seminars of this communication and journalism, we used to see that folk media is being highlighted. But the original folk artist or the
Yes.
indigenous artist, what are the ways? What do you think that how to bring them into the communication strategies?
Yes, I find a lot of folk media have powerful women artists, and they are the center of the art. And it is the community that gathers around the artist. So, a female artist can easily express the emotions of women and can also um, draw in upon the female community to participate in the folk arts. So the collaboration between the artists and the women's communities is an important step in resolving many of their issues. That is also a method of building solidarities among them. The case of domestic violence, if you see the Gulabi gang is an extreme example of women's solidarity, wherein they use songs to express their sorrow or their limitations or the fact that they were bound to home. We have seen the lockdown during COVID. Actually, women have been living in lockdown for centuries. It was not a new experience to them at all. Many of them rarely step out of their homes, the kind of lives that they live. So I think that the idea of a lockdown, which came as a shock to the male members of most of society, did not affect women much because they have been living in lockdown. So, folk media can be a tremendous help to unlock their emotions, their dialogue, and their
And
ability
also the
to share
folk
their
foods also,
experience.
the
Yes,
cuisines also,
yeah,
they can
because it
come-
is a community medium.
Yeah, yeah.
So, a lot of
In
them.
India, we have a good model like Amul.
Yes, if all sisters stood together and supported each other, domestic violence would not occur to the scale on which women are experiencing it today.
You just now spoke about education to be the first one, but usually in our domestic scenario, we see that the women is not given the proper nutrition, or they are being killed before they are born.
Yes.
So, what is the sector we should look upon first, the education or the health?
Let me give you the case of Kerala and Tamil Nadu, which are standing examples in this country. And Kerala has already reached the UN indicators in the 1990s, closely followed by Tamil Nadu. And also, you see both of them ranking very high in sustainable development because of the position that women are gaining in their societies. They saw to it that government policy focused on women's education. So parents could not keep a girl child at home. They had to enroll the child to school. It was made mandatory for the parents to enroll both a boy child and a girl child in Tamil Nadu as well as in Kerala. So if you enroll them and you give them the opportunity for education, we already have the Beti Padhao, the Beti Bachao scheme here running in India, plus the primary education model that is mandatory for school children. There has to be a complete monitoring. You just don't, announce a policy and then expect that it's going to work on the ground.
Proper
Every year,
execution.
after execution, it has to be monitored. How many children did you send into school? Keep a number. 100 girls have been admitted to school. The very next year, did anybody drop out?
Yeah, yeah.
There is no monitoring. So they just write a figure. 100 people have been
And
admitted.
dropout has
That is not a
increased,
result. You have to see over a period of 10 years.
10
If you admitted 100, where are they at what stage in life? And uplift them from those stages in life. So we have a lot of grand policies and implementation, but there is no monitoring and actual measurement of benefit on the ground. And if there is a lacuna in the program, it has to be rectified immediately. A program is fine, but it has to be monitored and there has to be constant measurement of the benefit and immediate rectification of lacunae when the programs do not materialize on the ground. Only then India can move forward.
Thank you, Dr. Kiran Prasad, for
Thank you.
your enlightening session. So now we can easily follow how, in the process of Vikashit Bharat, how we can proceed through our government, through the other non-government sectors for proper blossoming of our women folk. That is.